everyone, welcome back to Butching on Macrame. My name is Nicole. In today's tutorial, we will be going over a highly requested topic, and that is how to naturally dye your macrame cotton cord using food items. So a while back, I released a video on how to dip dye your macrame or macrame cotton cord, and in that tutorial I used RIT dye to dye the macrame cord there. And although RIT dye is non-toxic, it is still a chemical dye. Oftentimes I like to experiment with natural dyes to see what we can get. The benefits of dyeing cord yourself is that if you can't find a particular color or shade that you like out there, then you can always try and experiment dyeing cord yourself to get the color that you want. I personally really like natural dyes, since if I want another color other than natural and I want to be able to use it for a baby teether or for a dog toy and it's safe for them to chew on, then the natural dye is the way to go. So in this video tutorial, I experimented with 3 different types of foods. The first is a red beetroot, the second is avocado skins, and the third is onion skins. So I originally thought that the red beetroot would give me a nice reddish pinkish color, but it actually ended up being a beige color. I'm not sure how that turned out that way, but it did. I'm not sure if it's because the cotton that I have didn't take on the red dye from the beetroot as well, or if I didn't use enough beetroots, but the color just ended up being a little bit more beige than the natural color that I started off with. As for avocado skins, I've used this dye method multiple times and it always comes out a different pink shade. So I think that depends on the ratio of pits and skins you use. I find that the more pits you use, a brighter pink comes out, and if you use more skins than pits, then a more dusty pink comes out. I'm not 100% sure on that, but that's what I noticed from avocado skin dyeing. But I can for sure say that using avocado skins and pits will always give you a pink color. So lastly, for onion skins, I was expecting an orange color and that did not disappoint. We got a nice light pale orange color from using the onion skin dye bath. I am fairly certain if you use a lot more onion skins, you can get a darker orange color, but I am fairly happy with the result of the orange color from the onion skin dye bath. So I will be walking through the dyeing process that I took to create the 3 dye baths to get the 3 separate colors, and I also tested 2 of our different brands of cord. One is 100% recycled cotton cord and one is 100% organic cotton cord. So I had a feeling that the 100% organic cotton cord was going to take on the dye much better, and that was definitely the case. So you guys definitely can experiment with whatever cord you guys have at home and see what result it gives you. Let me know in the comment section below if you guys do end up using any of these foods to dye your own cotton cords, and let me know what result that you guys got as well, because I'd love to hear about that. I hope you guys will enjoy this video, and with that, let's get started. Before we get into the dyeing process, I wanted to introduce the foods that we will be using to dye the cotton cord. I will be using a red beetroot, and that's the bowl on the right, and I've cut them up into small chunks, and this is only 1 beetroot since I am only dyeing about 40 meters of cord for each dye bath. Like I said in the intro, I had thought that the red beetroot would dye the cotton cord red or a reddish pinkish color, but it actually ended up being a beige color. Next, I will use avocado skins and pits to make a pink color, and I have about 4 avocado skins and pits in there. And lastly, I will be using some yellow onion skins to get an orange color. This is about 2 yellow onions worth of skins, and then also I used a little bit of a red onion as well. I wanted to test all 3 dye baths in 2 different types of cord. So the cord I have here is my 100% organic single strand cotton cord from our foundation cord line. It is 100% organic cotton cord, so I am assuming that it will take on the dye much better than the recycled cord that I have here. This is our 100% recycled cotton cord from our rainbow cord line. As you can see, the cord on the right, the recycled cord, is a little bit lighter than the cord on the left. To begin the dyeing process, you will need a pot, and I will start with the beetroot first. So I'm going to throw my red beets into the pot, and then I'm going to fill it up with water just so that it covers all the beets. And I can see already that just by putting water in it, the water is already a little light pinkish reddish color. Once the water is filled up, we're going to place it on the stove, and we're going to heat this dye bath up to a boil. We will then prepare the other two dye baths the same way. So with another pot, I'm going to throw in my avocado pits and skins. We're going to fill it up with water and then also place it on the stove and then heat it up to a boil. Lastly, we're going to throw in our onion skins into another pot, fill it up with water, and then also heat it up to a boil. So once the dye baths are boiling, I'm going to check on them just to see the color of the dye bath. This is the beetroot one, and it's a nice reddish color. And this is why I had thought that the beets dye bath would dye the cord red, but instead we ended up getting a beige color from it. So I'm going to turn down the heat to about a medium and then leave it boiling and simmering for another 30 minutes. So now I'm going to check on the avocado dye, and it's actually just a really light yellow color right now. So this definitely means that this dye bath needs to be heated up a lot longer, so we're going to keep it on boil for another 30 minutes. And then after checking on the onion skins dye, it's a nice brownish orange color, so the color of the dye is already coming out, and so I'm going to lower the heat for this one and keep it simmering for another 30 minutes. While we wait for the dye baths to be ready, I'm going to pre-soak the cotton cords. So I've already pre-cut 6 little cotton cord cake rolls, 3 from each type of cotton cords, so 3 organic cotton cords and 3 recycled cotton cords. Submerge the cords into warm water and then let them continue to soak until the dye bath is ready. Once the half an hour is up, I've checked on my dyes. The beetroot has become a dark reddish brown color now. The onion skins have become a darker orange color. And the avocado dye has become a dark brown color. Since the colors have fully come out now, I'm going to turn the stove off, and then we're going to sift out the skins, the pits, the beetroots, so that we can place our cord into the dye bath. Since we just boiled the beetroots, you can definitely save them and eat them later. There's no real use for the avocado skins and onion skins anymore, so you can throw those away. So once the dye baths are clear from the skins and pits and beets, we're going to add a tablespoon of salt into each of the dye baths while they are still hot, so that the cotton cord will absorb the dyes better. Ensuring that the dye baths are still relatively hot, we're going to place 1 cake roll of cotton cord into each of the dye baths. So 1 of each type, 1 organic and 1 recycled. This is just my test to see how my cords will absorb the different dyes. You may have organic or recycled cotton cord or both at home as well that you may want to try testing these natural dyes on. Make sure that the cotton cords are submerged into the dye bath so that it is fully covered. I'm going to unravel the cake rolls. I'm going to unravel the cord rolls that I have here so that it is submerged into the dye bath. And this is what the dye baths should look like. I'm going to let the cord sit in these dye baths for more than 4 hours and then come back to check on them. So now 4 hours have passed, and what we see here is the beetroot dye bath. As you can see from before, it was a dark reddish brownish color dye bath, and you can tell from the cord that it is a beige brownish color. If you notice after 4 hours that the cords are dyed unevenly, there are white spots in it, turn up the heat on the stove again and bring it to boil, and then let it sit for 20 more minutes. The avocado dye, however, became a bright pink color, which is what we were hoping for the avocado dye. So the organic cord I have here, you can already tell is absorbing the color much better than the recycled cotton cord, and you can tell from the beetroot dye as well. You can see that the organic cord is a little darker than the recycled cord. With the onion skins dye, you can see that the cord here is a nice light orange color. So it looks like our cord is ready to be rinsed out now. Rinse out the cords until there's no bleeding left of the colors. So I have rinsed out my cords. The cord I have here is the light beige colored cord from the beetroot dye. As you can see, it lightened up once I rinsed it out, as it should for all of the dyes. But the avocado dye here is still a nice pink color. And as you can see, there is quite a difference between the organic cotton cord. The organic cotton cord definitely took on the color much better, and the colors are definitely more vibrant. But I also like the more pale colors of the recycled cotton cords as well. The onion skin dye gave the cord a nice light pale orange color. Also keep in mind that the cord is still wet right now, so the color is still darker than what it will be once it is dried. I'm going to leave these cords to dry overnight and then check the colors tomorrow. So these are the natural colored cords that we had used to dye these 3 different colors. The one on the right is the organic, and the one on the left is the recycled cords. So I'm just going to place them here at the top just so we can compare the colors. So the cord here is the light beige colored from the beetroot dye, and as you can compare it to the recycled cord that we had started off with, it is just slightly darker and more brown than the natural color. Similarly, with the 100% organic cotton cord, it is just a tinge more beige than the original natural color. As for the avocado dye with the recycled cord, it became a nice light pinkish purplish color, while the organic cotton cord took on a more vibrant pink color. Also, if you don't want the little dark spots of deposits there on the cord, which looks like it is tie-dyed, make sure that you do wash out your dyes so that there is no bleeding left, so that when you let them to sit and dry, it won't collect deposits on the cord and dry darker in certain spots. Or you can hang the cord to dry overnight as well to prevent that from happening. And then lastly, with the onion skins dye with the recycled cord, it became a light orange brownish color. I actually really do like this color just because it has some beige tones in it, and I do really like a beige colored cord. The organic cord turned out to be a pale orange color, and this is a really pretty peachy color that you can use in your projects. I do believe if you use a lot more onion skins, you can get a darker, more vibrant orange color. So I let these cords dry overnight, but they are still not 100% completely dried yet. They still have some moisture in them. And because they're moisture, they're going to dry a lot thicker if you don't retwist them back into their original twisted shape. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to roll each of these cords back into little cake rolls, and while doing that, I'm going to twist the cord while there is still some moisture in them so that they will hold shape once they completely dry. This will make it easier to macrame with when they are twisted. And we are now complete with the natural dyes of beige, pink, and orange. And that's a wrap with the how to naturally dye your macrame cotton cord into the colors beige, pink, and orange. So this is part 1 of our natural dyes series. I'm going to experiment and try to get different colors such as blues, greens, and I'm going to try to get a red color next time as well. If there's any other color you guys would like me to add on to the list, let me know in the comment section below, or let me know if you've experimented with other types of foods and what results you got too. I hope you guys enjoyed today's tutorial. If you guys haven't already, make sure you give this video a big thumbs up and click subscribe if you haven't already to stay tuned for more videos just like this. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.